in order to, let's say, write off your position or your thoughts, a lot of folks will call you anti-vax as if being skeptical, which I believe obviously people have the right to be, but you have to understand what we're dealing with. Let's just break it down just for a time being. We have COVID-19, which is a coronavirus. They just found out about this, well, at least on this side of the planet. You're talking about this year. And now you're telling me that they have a vaccine that has been tested top to bottom. We know it hasn't, because when it comes to a more extended period of time, they have not done that because they can't do that. Now, there's other coronaviruses that don't have cures. We've talked about John Ioannidis and his, talking about vaccines and how they would do vaccines for that they thought were going to work, like for coronaviruses in cats, for example, and the cats were worse with the vaccine. Now, this isn't pertaining to COVID-19, but it is a coronavirus. So what I'm referring to, the common cold doesn't necessarily have a cure, which is also a coronavirus. Yet they have been able to rush something out, which is 90 to 94%, 95% effective for something that has a survivability rate of 99%. Okay. And they're going to rush this out. And of course, a lot of people politicians, government officials are expecting you to take this. Now, to sit up here and try to claim that someone's anti-vax because they're like, there ain't no way I'm putting that in me. At this point, I just don't care. And I'm not going to sit here and get in a dispute with someone calling me anti-vax because my position is of great skepticism. Not even skepticism. It's a hell no. That's just what it is. Just a hell no. It's a hell no. Like, y'all should be free to take it if that's something that you want to do. But as it comes to me, I ain't taking it. My body, my choice. But let's check this out. Vaccination cards, this isn't Orwellian at all, will be issued to everyone getting the COVID-19 vaccine, health officials say. The Department of Defense released the first images of a COVID-19 vaccination record card and vaccination kits Wednesday. This is reported by CNN, Fake News Network Health, says vaccination cards will be issued as the simplest way to keep track of COVID-19 shots, as Dr. Kelly Moore, Associate Director of the Immunization Action Coalition, which is supporting frontline workers who will administer COVID-19 vaccinations. A Department of Health and Human Services employee holds a COVID-19 vaccine record. This is what you're viewing right here. Because everyone will be issued a written card that they can put in their wallet that will tell them what they had and when their next dose is due. Let's do the simple, easy thing first. Everyone's going to get that. Vaccination clinics will also be reporting their state immunization registries, what vaccine was given, so that, for example, an entity could run a query if it didn't know where a patient got a first dose. This is weird, okay? As I'm reading this, like I'm not reading like a video game script or something like that, like the introduction to the zombie apocalypse or something on Resident Evil Umbrella Corps. That's not what I'm reading right now. This is being reported directly from Fake News Network, talking about, again, the Department of Defense and this whole Immunization Action Coalition. So as I'm reading that, please take into consideration that this is real life. Moore said that many places are planning to ask patients to voluntarily provide a cell phone number so they can get a text message telling them when and where their next dose is scheduled to be administered. Every dose administered will be reported to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, and Prevention. And Claire Hannon, said Claire Hannon, Executive Director of the Association of Immunization Managers. The CDC did not immediately respond to CNN's inquiry about whether such a database would include a record for everyone immunized. As far as vaccine kits, the DoD image shows the kits include a card, a needle, and a syringe, alcohol wipes, and a mask. Operation Warp Speed has 100 million vaccine kits, which is, again, you say what you will about Trump, he's complicit in all of that, because they've been discussing this, and he's talked about military folk being ready to go to make sure we get this out to everybody to get folks needles put in them. Was distributed a coronavirus vaccine starts, as Warp Speed Chief Operating Officer. The images come from two companies, Pfizer and Moderna. A panel with U.S. Food and Drug Administration is expected to discuss whether to authorize EUAs December 10th and 17th. Should Pfizer and Moderna get the authorization of vaccines, first shipments could happen 15 and 22nd, respectively, according to a document of the federal government's Operation Warp Speed. Initial supplies of the United States will be limited, and the wider population won't have access to vaccines until months into 2021. It doesn't matter. It's fine, because I'm not taking the shit anyway. So take as much time as you like. By February, 100 million Americans could be vaccinated against the Modelo virus. I will not be one of them. Now, look, we're talking about vaccine cards that are going to have to come directly from them. We know that. Okay, gotcha. But the problem here is that for those of us who aren't stupid, I guess, we know that that's going to open the door wide open for a papers, please sort of situation. People have put their entire faith in these vaccines, usually because they're sheep. And they believe that this is the end all. So whether it be from the government, we just talked about Joe Biden and the mask thing. But so whether it be coming from the mayors or the county judges or the governors or what have you, you know that there's going to be a situation where, again, as we talked about last show, there's going to be applied pressure on people who operate places of businesses, profit, nonprofit, doesn't matter. Places where people gather. And what they're going to do is place pressure on them. It's going to come from the government by way of that. And then it's going to manifest in ways that's going to make it very difficult to navigate the world, navigate your state, navigate your city, your county, in the event that you aren't vaccinated. Now, I sit and think, like, what the hell does it matter if you're vaccinated? If the vaccine works like you claim it would, you shouldn't even be worried about me or the people that are going to say, yeah, I take my chances. 99% survivability rate, above that with my age group. I think I like my chances here. Shouldn't even matter. But for whatever reason, they are pushing this idea that you must get injected with this. And it's going to manifest itself in ways, can't talk today, that are going to make it difficult to navigate, which is going to incentivize people to get it. I don't foresee them having an instance where you are directly forced from them, so government to individuals, saying you must have it. It'll manifest a way and effectively be that, but it'll be, again, them applying pressure to businesses and what have you, and then that manifests itself, and then it's like, hey, papers, please, and if you don't have your papers, you won't be able to do this, and that. Like I said, it sounds very freaky reading some of this stuff, that, this is something that a real process. Sounds almost like, again, a video game setup, right? Is what it sounds like. I'm not taking a vaccine, and if I go to jail, that's what they're going to have to do, essentially, for me, is force me to, they're going to have to, like, hold me down and put that, like, stuff, like, inject me with the needle. That's what's going to happen. It's just something that I do think is worth going to jail over in the event that happens, or and getting into beefs with law enforcement in the event that that's what it comes down to. But for people to so loosely and easily just say, yeah, we got to do it and we got to force it, really goes to show how people don't value actual bodily autonomy at all. even coming from the individuals who would claim that they do on any other given day when it comes to like abortion or something like that. It's my body, my choice. When it comes to anything else, though, that logic doesn't apply. Then they think that the state owns your body. This is why that whole phrase was always bullcrap when it came from that particular side. Nonetheless, the more we talk about this, the freakier that it gets. And if you're one of the 100 million Americans to be vaccinated, congratulations. I hope the best out of all of this. Seriously, I hope that you don't end up with an instance that you grow a baby leg out of your neck as a side effect for the vaccine or something like that they couldn't foresee, because the baby leg don't start growing until 2 to 3 years down the line. Okay? Now, if that's what happens to you, that would suck. And I would hope that doesn't happen to you. And I'm not saying that it is. I'm not taking my chances. I'm going to watch y'all let that stuff play out. And when it comes to absolute freedom, that should be the case. Whereas if you want to take this vaccine, you should be free to take it. If you don't want to take the vaccine, you should be free to take it. And it shouldn't even matter, considering the fact that if the vaccine is effective, you're good if you're taking it. So what you worried about me for?